Hi, my name is Finlay McHugh, and look, in this video I'm going to tell you how the Evergreen Athlete program works. Evergreen Athlete is designed for people who are over 30 and they want to be more athletic than they were in their 20s. It's for people that want a robust, energized body and a focused mindset. A little bit about myself: over the last 15 years I've had the pleasure of working at the top end of sport. I've helped 9 Olympians work towards achieving their goals of qualifying and some of them medalling. I've worked with 45 Commonwealth Games athletes across a wide range of sports, and I've helped over 250 over 30s become more robust, energized and focused. So why do over 30s lose their athleticism? I mean, in your 20s, being proactive and taking on every challenge is important. You tend to burn the candle at both ends and then let loose on a Friday and Saturday to unwind. You don't recover because you don't really need to. But after your 30s, life kicks off properly and you inevitably take on more responsibility at work and in your personal life. You might be starting a family, for example. This increased mental and physical load builds, eventually becoming quite overwhelming, and it's something I've been through myself. You can feel irritable, fatigued, and you could even be struggling to sleep. But ultimately, when you're tired and stressed, your body will struggle to adapt, if adapt at all, to any training that you're doing. So being stressed and burnout is really detrimental for athleticism. The second biggest problem is that we are injured and that we are inconsistent with our training. Now, you're typically inconsistent with your training because you've been doing a program that's not designed for your goals or your current physical capacity. It could have been from an app, YouTube, ChatGPT, or you might just be making it up and using your memory. Ultimately, roadblocks, injuries, and a lack of consistency have caused your training to be in sporadic bursts, working hard for 4 to 8 weeks and then 3 to 4 weeks off, which causes your body to detrain and you're back to square one, losing motivation. And then lastly, is you're just busy and lacking clarity. Unfortunately, the curse of being goal orientated is that people ask you for help and they want help with their problems. You tend to be a yes person and you take on their problems. You've got deadlines, you've got decisions, and you haven't even got to thinking about your own training yet. Now, I understand what it's like to be pulled in different directions, having led a team of up to 20 people across a multi-site gym. And I know that health science is complex, as there's a low and unregulated barrier to entry which exacerbates the problem in the fitness industry. Now, from the conversations that I've had from many of you, I understand that the time and effort that it takes to sift through numerous articles, books, podcasts, trying to find the right information, it can be quite overwhelming. Now, what I find is that injuries will stop people from training, but confusion and decision fatigue will stop them before they've even started. Now, this is the model that I've created to turn people into evergreen athletes, and it centers around 3 main pillars. So let's go through each of them individually. So the first one, energized. We make sure that you have the energy to perform physically and mentally. People often talk about managing your time, but Evergreen, we focus on managing your energy and helping you create more energy. The second one is robustness. Robust athletes have a base level of fitness that can cope with higher intensity training, but they have also been exposed to their sport-specific training to create specific adaptations necessary to perform at the task, event, or sport that when they want to. Lastly, we want focused athletes. Research shows that people are spending around 50 minutes per week deciding what to watch on Netflix. Now, with health science being so complex, imagine how much time you're losing each week trying to figure out how to train, when to train, what the right movements are, when to do the right movements, what the correct techniques look like, when to take a day off. Now, with this program, we've ruthlessly prioritized the most important aspects of your training, and secondly, give you quick answers to your questions so you're not stuck in limbo going nowhere. Now, those 3 deliverables are in a sequential order. They're there to take you from burning out, in poor shape, and losing your athleticism, and start by helping you reclaim your energy. And how do we do this? We do this by firstly uncovering your purpose. When you understand how what you're doing today for your exercise is linked to something more important to you in your life, you will have more energy to do it and you'll have more purpose behind it. We secondly prepare your body to train. We look at your nutrition and your sleep to ensure that you're ready and you are capable of taking on the challenge. And then lastly, we prime your body. We create meaningful and manageable routines that will help you switch between work and training and get you into a readiness state and elevate your mood so that you can train with better quality. The second thing is robustness. Now, we split this across screening, strengthening, and specializing. So we start with screening, and that's where we look at how you move and what your physical capabilities are. This gives us objective and subjective data to track progress and ensure your program starts at the right intensity, which is really important. We then move on to a phase of strengthening, which is where we build up your base level of fitness across key and specific areas of your body that are under extra demand depending on what your sport is. And lastly, we don't just leave it in the gym. We ensure that you are gradually exposing yourself to the demands of your sport or your task, and we build that in. And then lastly is focused. We ensure that you have clarity, we're curating the right answers for you, and we're calibrating as we go. So we periodically hold you accountable through check-ins where we review your progress, we understand how your body is adapting, and then we make sure that you have the right information for your next move and you're not stuck, not sure what to do next. And that is how we continually cycle through and move you towards being an evergreen athlete. Which is actually a good point, like why the word evergreen? And I was quite specific about this. So in my time working in elite sport, I've really found out that the people that were successful are the ones that were able to stay the course and stay the distance. It's easy to have talent, it's easy to be quite good at something, but staying the course over a long period of time is where people actually see real success. So being evergreen and being present and available for training and life day in, day out is a vital component of lasting success. So don't just take my word for it, obviously. Like, here are some of the results from the people that have been through the program. This is Hans. He came to me with a relatively athletic background, but he'd been in a bit of a bad place with his health at the time. He was launching a new business and he was working 12 to 14 hours, 6 days a week. This was a tradie business, so he was labor intensive. He decided to enter the Melbourne Marathon so that he had a target and he was able to regain some discipline, but he was really unsure what to do, what approach to take, and how he was going to manage that. And he was well aware of the number of people that get injured through long distance running training. So over 12 months, we increased Hans's weekly running volume from 15 kilometers a week up to 70k, and I think we even had a week at 75 as we got closer to race day. He ended up completing the marathon in 3 hours and 39 minutes, which is phenomenal for somebody's first shot at an endurance event like that. On top of this, the biggest win that we had is Hans completed the training without suffering a single major injury, a single week off from training, or a single physiotherapy appointment because of a problem. Now, this discipline has changed the game for Hans. Like, he was in a bit of a transition from 20s to 30s, and now he is building a thriving business with multiple employees, and he's embedded these lifestyle changes. The second one is Chris. Chris had been climbing the corporate ladder for a number of years. He has a young family and had a short list of injuries stopping him from training. He was feeling pretty low and grumpy at home and his kids and wife from missing out of his training, but really couldn't figure out a way of building it in and just not picking up again another injury that was going to take him out. We focused specifically on his running mechanics, his plyometrics, so like his jumping ability, so that he was able to run economically and efficiently, and he had a much more robust body, and the running element is really tough. Now, we zoned in for the first 6 months and we rebuilt Chris's strength and confidence to support him with the amount of training, and we ended up getting to a stage where he completed Geelong Half Ironman. Lastly, this is Matthew. We have been working together for over 5 years now, but in the first 12 months of working together, Matt had spent a lot of time in group fitness classes like CrossFit, and his body was so beaten up to the extent that he would have to leave sessions early because he wasn't able to do the movements without pain. It wasn't really fitting with his diary, and he lost his love for exercise and working out. He also has an extremely demanding job that requires court orders, working late into the evening, long hours reading documents, and providing directions to people at irregular times. This meant that our training had to be extremely time efficient with everything, so that he was able to extract the most from it with the least amount of time so that we could improve that sustainability. There was absolutely 0 point going very hard if it was not going to be sustainable during challenging work patches. In the first 12 months of training, we regained his love for exercise. We rebuilt his strength from the ground up, particularly focusing on key joints, shoulders and hips that had been battered and bruised, frankly, from extensive CrossFit training. We were able to return him to one of his loves, which is Olympic weightlifting, which gave him the foundation to get back into running more consistently. And ultimately, the thing that brings him the most joy is that this routine has been rock solid for years now, and he feels fitter than he was when he was in his late 20s. So if you join the Evergreen Athlete program, what do you get? Well, the first thing is you get a custom plan that is built with a long-term approach. Now, this is unusual in the fitness space where everyone's wanting very short, quick wins, but we want to be able to plan for the long term and sequentially evolve your program and focus on specific things at each phase. I don't know anyone that is better at doing 2 or 3 different things at one time than just focusing on one thing and doing it very, very well. And that is exactly the approach that we take. We house everything on an app so you can track, it's easy to understand. Now the second thing is we want to be the last coach that you ever need. To do this, we want to cut the noise and educate you on how to train and make smarter decisions with your health. We also look at other aspects including mental toughness and general lifestyle. The third thing is that we hold you accountable to what you've said you want to do and then support you when life throws challenging situations your way. The fourth thing is the support. So compared to having a face-to-face personal trainer when you can only see them once or twice a week, we are there whenever you need it. We want you to be asking questions and we want to make it fast, simple and actionable for you to do. And anyone that joins the Evergreen Athlete program is backed by our guarantee. 1, training. If you complete the agreed amount of training, you will guarantee it there. Now I haven't put a specific number of sessions because that is going to really differ depending on what stage you're coming at. The second thing is tracking your training sessions, your habits and completing your check-ins. This gives us good data to adapt and evolve your program. We change it on a weekly basis depending on how you're responding to the program, and it will change a lot, particularly when you're first starting. The third one is the coaching. We want you to show up to all of your one-on-one coaching calls, and I need you to provide honest reflections and feedback so that we can find out what the problem is and then start working on a solution. And then the fourth element is I want you to record yourself for training. Some of the movements that we do are more complex than your standard bro splits, and it's important that I can give you advice so that you can get the most out of those exercises. I mean, looking at this, it's not rocket science what I'm telling you here. If you do the work and do the program, you will get the result. Now it's my job to support you and make that process as easy as possible for you. So at this point, you've really got 2 choices. One, if you are interested in joining the program, we can jump on a call and see if you're suitable for it, and you have my guarantee here that it will get you the result that you're wanting. Or you cannot make a decision and you can sit and think and just be not going anywhere and stay where you currently are right now. If you are interested in hopping on a call and having a chat, I'll be more than happy to bounce some ideas around and help you out.